Princess Mora of the glorious Tarian Empire stood heroically on the balcony of her family's grand palace, staring up at the stars with the kind of intensity usually reserved for long-winded royal speeches. Known far and wide for their technological wizardry and a healthy dose of paranoia about other species, especially humans, no Tarian royal had ever so much as sneezed near a human spaceship. Yet here was Mora, defying tradition in the name of a grand tour of the universe, a rite of passage marking her leap into adulthood. The Tarian Council of Elders, who had all the excitement of a cactus at a party, were aghast at her request to travel on a human ship. Her father, Emperor Fizzle, nearly had a conniption at the idea, fearing that mingling with humans might tarnish their pristine reputation. But after days of relentless arguments and political maneuvering that would make a chess master proud, Fizzle finally relented. With a heavy heart and a long list of rules, he agreed, albeit with one condition. Mora would be escorted by a squad of elite Tarian warriors and her most trusted advisors. Mora was set to board the Stellar Voyager, the most sophisticated human exploration vessel to date. The Council insisted on constant surveillance of her to prevent any unsanctioned human influence, but Mora was determined to explore the cosmos on her own terms. Her advisor, Flix, approached her with a look of concern. "Princess, the Council thinks humans are like walking chaos bombs with legs. They're worried you're taking a big risk." Mora's eyes blazed with determination. "I'm tired of the Council's endless meddling. If I'm going to lead our people someday, I need to see the universe with my own eyes, not through their clouded lenses. I believe humans are more than the exaggerated horror stories we've been fed." Flick sighed but wisely kept his mouth shut. He knew better than to argue when Mora was on a mission. On Earth's sea, Captain Dave Johnson of the Stellar Voyager received the news of Princess Mora's request with a mix of shock and amusement. The diplomatic tension between humanity and the Tarian Empire was like walking a tightrope on a windy day, and this was a golden chance to smooth things over. Johnson, a seasoned explorer with a knack for staying calm amid chaos, briefed his crew. "Well, this is going to be a hoot," Johnson muttered, shaking his head. "We got a royal on board, and rumor has it she's got a reputation for being a bit of a diva. Let's put our best foot forward, folks." Chief Engineer Sam Carter raised an eyebrow. "Should we roll out the red carpet, or just stick to the basics?" Johnson chuckled. "Something like that. Remember, she's here to see what humans are all about. Let's give her a show." As the Stellar Voyager prepared for launch, tension simmered below deck. A fringe human group, known as Earth, first saw Mora's arrival as a potential invasion. Their leader, Rex Voss, was convinced that humanity needed to cut all ties with alien alliances and take control of their own destiny. "This is our moment to show the galaxy that we won't be anyone's lackey," Voss declared to his followers. "If we let the Tarians gain any influence, it's game over for human independence. We need to stop this mission before it starts." Plans were set into motion. As the countdown to launch began, Mora stood in the viewport of her quarters, her heart racing with excitement. This was her chance to break free from the shackles of royal duty and see the universe for herself. Though she knew many aboard the ship viewed her with suspicion, she was determined to prove that this journey was more than just a political statement. It was a quest for understanding, growth, and maybe even interspecies camaraderie. Captain Johnson's voice crackled over the intercom. "Princess Mora, welcome aboard the Stellar Voyager. We're thrilled to have you with us. Our mission is about to kick off, and I assure you, it'll be a journey like no other." Mora's face lit up with a smile. The ship rumbled as the engines roared to life, and moments later, they were soaring through the stars, leaving her home planet far behind. But as the Stellar Voyager ventured into uncharted space, Mora couldn't shake the feeling that something, or someone, was lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As the ship sliced through the vast blackness of space with grace and precision, Mora marveled at the endless stars. Captain Johnson joined her at the observation deck, his stride confident yet respectful. "No matter how many times I see this, it still feels like the first time," he said. Mora turned to him, her expression thoughtful. "On Zortaria, our skies are so thick with clouds, you never really get to see the stars like this. Out here, it feels free, Johnson nodded, understanding the weight of her words. We humans value freedom above all. It drives our exploration, our need to push boundaries. Mora allowed a small smile. That's why I chose to come with you. Despite what my people say, I believe there's a lot we can learn from each other. Meanwhile, deep in the ship's lower decks, Rex Voss and his band of disgruntled followers were making their own plans. They had managed to sneak into one of the cargo bays, hidden from the crew's view by falsified records and bribes. Their mission was clear: ensure the princess never returned to Zorteria. Voss, illuminated by the dim lights of the cargo hold, addressed his followers. This is our chance to show the galaxy that humans won't bow to any alien empire. If we let the Zorterians gain influence, it's game over for human independence. We'll wait for the right moment, strike when they least expect it, and expose the humans who've been cozying up to the aliens. Unaware of the brewing conspiracy below, Mora found herself increasingly at ease aboard the stellar Voyager. The crew treated her with a blend of curiosity and respect, though some still cast suspicious glances her way. The humans were far more open and relaxed than she had anticipated, their casual confidence a stark contrast to the rigidity of her own society. She spent her days chatting with Captain Johnson, learning about humanity's trials and triumphs. The resilience and adaptability of humans fascinated her. But as the days went by, she sensed an undercurrent of tension, a whisper of unease that didn't fit with the routine of space travel. One evening, as she headed back to her quarters after a quiet dinner with Johnson, she overheard a conversation between two crew members. "I'm telling you, something's not right," one said. Mora's heart raced. It seemed her journey was about to get a lot more complicated. As Mora pondered the overheard conversation, a sense of unease settled over her. The stellar Voyager had been her escape from the stifling confines of her royal life, but now it felt like she was stepping into a complex web of intrigue. Determined to uncover what was amiss, she resolved to investigate further. The next morning, Mora decided to take a walk through the ship's various sections. She was curious about the daily operations and wanted to understand more about the crew and their routines. With a nod to Captain Johnson, who was busy overseeing a routine system check, she ventured off with a mix of excitement and apprehension. As she explored, Mora noticed a few crew members whispering in corners, their conversations cutting off abruptly when she approached. Their furtive glances and hushed tones did nothing to ease her growing anxiety. In one of the quieter parts of the ship, Mora found herself in a maintenance corridor where she encountered Chief Engineer Sam Carter, who was working on some technical equipment. "Hello, Princess," Carter said with a friendly nod. "Is everything all right?" "I hope so," Mora replied, trying to sound casual. "I've been noticing some odd behavior from the crew. Is everything running smoothly?" Carter's expression shifted slightly, and he leaned closer. "We're all working hard to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. But you're right, there have been some unusual occurrences. I'll keep an eye out." Mora thanked him and continued her exploration. Her sense of unease deepened as she stumbled upon a crew member, Jonas, hurriedly hiding a bundle of documents in a supply closet. When he saw her, his eyes widened in panic, and he quickly stammered an excuse before disappearing down the hallway. The princess couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Her thoughts were interrupted by a sudden alert over the ship's intercom. "Attention, all crew members," Captain Johnson's voice rang out. "We have an unexpected situation. All personnel to your stations." Mora rushed back to the command deck, where she found Captain Johnson and his crew in a flurry of activity. "What's happening?" she asked. Johnson, looking unusually tense, explained, "We've detected an unauthorized signal coming from one of the cargo bays. It could be a security breach." Mora's heart sank. The cargo bay was where she had seen Voss and his group. "I need to go to that cargo bay," she insisted. Johnson looked hesitant but nodded. "All right, but we're going with you." As they approached the cargo bay, Mora's earlier suspicions solidified. Johnson, Carter, and a few security officers flanked her, their expressions grim. When they arrived, they found the cargo bay door slightly ajar, a faint, suspicious noise coming from inside. Inside, Mora saw Rex Voss and his followers, their faces lit with a mix of anger and desperation. They had been working on some kind of device that looked suspiciously like a makeshift explosive. "So, it's true," Mora said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through her. "You were planning something." Voss scowled, his eyes narrowing. "We knew you were coming to interfere with our plans for human independence. This is our message to the galaxy." Johnson stepped forward, his face set in a determined frown. "This ends now. You're under arrest." The confrontation was intense, but brief. The security team quickly subdued Voss and his followers, who put up a fierce, but ultimately futile struggle. With the immediate threat neutralized, Mora turned to Johnson. "Thank you for your assistance," she said, her voice filled with relief. "I'm sorry for the trouble." Johnson gave her a reassuring smile. "No need to apologize. We're glad we caught it in time." As the stellar Voyager continued its journey through the stars, the atmosphere aboard the ship returned to a semblance of normalcy. The crew treated Mora with newfound respect, their earlier suspicions replaced by admiration for her bravery and resolve. In the days that followed, Mora and Captain Johnson had many conversations about their respective cultures and the future of their species. Mora found herself more deeply immersed in the human experience than she had ever anticipated. She discovered a shared sense of curiosity and a desire for exploration that bridged the gap between their worlds. As they approached the next phase of their journey, Mora stood once more at the observation deck, gazing at the endless stars. Captain Johnson joined her, his presence a comforting reminder of their shared adventure. "Do you still think humans are chaotic?" he asked, a playful glint in his eye. Mora smiled. "Perhaps a little, but I'm learning that chaos can be quite beautiful. And there's much more to both our species than meets the eye." The stellar Voyager continued its voyage through the cosmos, with Princess Mora and Captain Johnson united by a newfound understanding and respect. Their journey was far from over, but the stars ahead promised new adventures and the continued exploration of the mysteries that lay beyond. The stellar Voyager cut through the cosmos with effortless grace, its sleek form casting a shimmering silhouette against the backdrop of distant stars. Princess Mora had settled into a routine, one that involved long conversations with Captain Johnson, learning about human culture and their expansive dreams. Despite the previous tensions, she felt a growing camaraderie with the crew, who had come to see her not just as royalty, but as a fellow explorer. One morning, as Mora was enjoying a leisurely breakfast in the ship's dining area, Captain Johnson joined her. His usual relaxed demeanor was replaced with an air of excitement. "Princess, we're about to enter an uncharted sector of space. This is a big deal for us, an opportunity to map out new frontiers." Mora's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Uncharted space? That sounds exhilarating. What do you hope to discover?" Johnson grinned. "That's the beauty of it. We don't know what we'll find. It could be anything from new celestial phenomena to undiscovered planets. The possibilities are endless." As the stellar Voyager approached the edge of the known galaxy, the ship's sensors picked up a strange anomaly. The crew gathered around the command center, their faces illuminated by the glow of the monitors. "Captain, we're detecting an unusual energy signature ahead," said Sam Carter, who was hunched over a console. "It's unlike anything we've seen before." Johnson's eyebrows furrowed. "Show me." The main screen flickered to life, displaying a swirling mass of energy that looked like a cosmic whirlpool. The colors shifted and danced, creating an almost hypnotic effect. "Is that a wormhole?" Mora asked, her voice tinged with awe. "It's possible," Johnson replied, "but it's unlike any wormhole we've encountered. It's more stable and has a unique energy pattern." Before they could deliberate further, the ship shook slightly as if nudged by an invisible hand. Alarms blared, and the crew scrambled to their stations. "Captain, we're being pulled towards the anomaly." Carter shouted over the din. "The gravitational pull is increasing." Johnson's face turned serious. "All hands, prepare for emergency maneuvers. Engage thrusters to counteract the pull." The stellar Voyager's engines roared to life, fighting against the powerful gravitational forces. Mora held onto the armrest of her seat, her heart pounding with excitement and apprehension. "We're going to need to stabilize the ship's trajectory." Carter's voice crackled through the comms. "If we can't break free, we might get sucked into the anomaly." Johnson's eyes locked onto the swirling mass ahead. "I'm not backing down now. Let's see what this thing is really made of." The ship shuddered as it fought against the pull of the anomaly. Mora could see the swirling colors intensify, their luminosity bathing the bridge in an eerie glow. "Captain, the ship systems are struggling to maintain stability," Carter reported. "We might have to make a decision quickly." Johnson's grip tightened on the controls. "We're almost through. Keep pushing." With a final surge of energy, the stellar Voyager lurched free from the grip of the anomaly. The ship tumbled momentarily before steadying itself. The anomaly's glow faded in the distance as the crew exhaled in relief. "Status report," Johnson demanded. Carter quickly scanned the data. "We've sustained minor damage, but the ship's intact. The anomaly is dissipating, and we're stable." Mora, catching her breath, looked out at the view. "What just happened? Where are we?" Johnson peered at the monitors. "We've been thrown into an entirely new region of space. It's uncharted, and the anomaly has shifted our position significantly." As the crew began assessing their new surroundings, Mora noticed something on the edge of the screen, a faint, distant signal coming from a nearby star system. "Captain, what's that signal?" she asked, pointing to the monitor. Johnson squinted at the screen. "It's a distress signal. It's coming from a planet in that system. We should check it out." The stellar Voyager adjusted its course and headed towards the source of the signal. As they approached the planet, they saw that it was lush and vibrant, with sprawling forests and oceans visible from orbit. "This planet looks habitable," Carter remarked. "But we need to investigate the signal's source." The crew prepared to land on the planet's surface. As they descended, Mora gazed out of the window, marveling at the alien landscape. The landing was smooth, and the crew disembarked, setting up equipment to trace the origin of the distress signal. They followed the signal through a dense forest until they came upon a small, dilapidated spacecraft partially buried in the underbrush. "This must be the source of the signal," Johnson said, examining the wreckage. "Let's see if there are any survivors." The crew carefully approached the damaged craft. Inside, they found a lone figure, a human clad in a tattered space suit, barely conscious. "Help me," the figure murmured weakly. Johnson and Mora rushed to assist. After stabilizing the survivor, Johnson turned to Mora. "We need to get them back to the ship and see if we can get any answers about what happened." As the crew returned to the stellar Voyager with their newfound companion, Mora couldn't shake the feeling that their adventure was only just beginning. The unknowns of this new region of space held mysteries yet to be unraveled, and she was determined to face them head-on. Back aboard the ship, the survivor was treated and given medical attention. Once stable, they introduced themselves as Lieutenant Alex Harper, a member of a lost exploration mission that had gone off course. "I can't thank you enough for rescuing me," Harper said, their voice filled with gratitude. "We were exploring this area when our ship suffered a critical malfunction. I sent out the distress signal, but I didn't think anyone would find us." Johnson nodded. "We're glad we did. Now, we need to figure out what caused the malfunction and why the signal was so weak." As Mora listened to Harper's account, she realized that their journey through this uncharted region was uncovering far more than they had anticipated. The universe was full of surprises, and the stellar Voyager was on the brink of discovering new realms and forging new alliances. With their course set and the mysteries of the new region beckoning, the crew of the stellar Voyager prepared to dive deeper into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Mora felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement, knowing that this was only the beginning of their grand adventure. The stellar Voyager had settled into a routine of exploration and discovery as it ventured through the newly charted region of space. Princess Mora found herself increasingly absorbed in the ship's activities, her initial apprehension giving way to a genuine excitement for the unknown. Lieutenant Alex Harper, now recovered and adjusting to life aboard the ship, had proven to be a valuable addition to the crew. Their knowledge of the region and their experience in space exploration made them an excellent guide and advisor. Mora, in particular, enjoyed learning about Harper's mission and the challenges they had faced. One day, as the stellar Voyager approached a new star system, the ship's sensors detected unusual readings. The crew gathered in the command center, where Captain Johnson reviewed the data. "These readings are off the charts," Johnson said, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. "It looks like we're detecting an ancient signal coming from a nearby planet. It's incredibly old, but surprisingly intact." "Ancient signal?" Mora echoed, her interest piqued. "What kind of signal are we talking about?" Harper, who had joined the briefing, leaned over the console. "It's possible it could be a remnant of an old spacefaring civilization. We've come across similar signals before, but they were usually too degraded to decipher." Johnson nodded. "Well, it's worth investigating. If there's something out there, it could provide valuable insights into the history of this region." The stellar Voyager set a course for the source of the signal. As they approached the planet, they saw a sprawling landscape of rugged terrain and ancient structures partially buried in the sand. "Looks like a desert planet," Carter observed as he scanned the surface. "But those structures, there's something oddly familiar about them." The crew prepared to land near one of the larger structures, which resembled a colossal pyramid partially covered by the shifting sands. They disembarked and made their way toward the ancient edifice, their footsteps crunching on the dry surface. As they approached, Mora marveled at the intricate carvings and faded inscriptions on the pyramid's surface. The symbols were unlike anything she had seen before, a blend of geometric shapes and flowing lines that seemed to tell a story. "This is incredible," Mora said, touching one of the carvings. "It's as if we're standing on the ruins of an ancient civilization." Harper nodded in agreement. "This kind of find is rare. If we can decode these inscriptions, it might reveal more about the people who built this." The team set up equipment to analyze the inscriptions and map out the structure. Hours turned into days as they worked tirelessly to decipher the ancient language and uncover the secrets of the pyramid. The progress was slow, but they made significant headway. One evening, as Mora reviewed some of the latest findings, she stumbled upon a passage that seemed to describe a great calamity, a cosmic event that had led to the downfall of the civilization. The text spoke of an immense energy surge and a warning to future explorers. "This passage is fascinating," Mora said to Johnson and Harper. "It seems to describe an event similar to what we encountered with the anomaly. It might be a warning about a cosmic phenomenon." Harper's eyes widened. "That could explain the instability we faced. If this civilization experienced something similar, their warning might be more relevant than we thought." Johnson frowned. "We should be cautious. If there's any truth to this, it's possible there are still remnants of that energy surge in this region. We need to be prepared." As the team continued their research, Mora began to experience strange dreams. They were vivid and unsettling, filled with images of the ancient civilization and the catastrophic event they had described. The dreams left her feeling uneasy, as if they were trying to convey a message. One night, Mora woke from one of these dreams, her heart racing. She decided to take a walk on the ship's observation deck to clear her mind. As she gazed out at the stars, Captain Johnson joined her. "Can't sleep?" he asked, noticing her troubled expression. Mora sighed. "I've been having these strange dreams about the ancient civilization. They're so vivid, it's like I'm actually there." Johnson's expression turned thoughtful. Dreams can sometimes be our mind's way of processing information or trying to make sense of what we're experiencing. Maybe your dreams are trying to tell you something about the findings we've made. Mora nodded, her thoughts racing. "Perhaps. I feel like there's something I'm missing, something important." The next day, the team made a breakthrough. They managed to decode a significant portion of the inscriptions, revealing details about the civilization's advanced technology and their understanding of cosmic phenomena. The text described a method of harnessing energy from cosmic anomalies, which was both a great achievement and a potential danger. This technology could be what caused their downfall, Carter speculated. If they overexploited it or if it went awry, it could explain the warning. Mora's mind raced with the implications. If we're encountering similar energy signatures, it might mean that this technology is still active in some form. We need to be very careful. With this new knowledge, the crew of the Stellar Voyager took extra precautions as they continued their exploration. They monitored the energy signatures closely and adjusted their course to avoid any potential hazards. As the days passed, Mora's dreams grew less intense, but the sense of urgency remained. She felt a deep connection to the ancient civilization and a responsibility to ensure that their warnings were heeded. The Stellar Voyager ventured further into the region, guided by the newly uncovered information. The crew remained vigilant, and Mora continued to draw strength from her newfound purpose. The mysteries of the universe were unfolding before them, and with each discovery, they inched closer to understanding the echoes of the past and the potential dangers that lay ahead. The journey through this uncharted frontier was far from over, and Mora knew that the secrets they sought would shape their future in ways they could not yet imagine. The Stellar Voyager had navigated through uncharted territories with caution and curiosity, guided by the ancient warnings and their own growing expertise. Princess Mora, Captain Johnson, and their crew had forged a deeper bond through their shared experiences, and the mysteries of the cosmos had become their collective pursuit. As they approached the final destination in this star system, a planet with a massive, pulsating energy field, the tension among the crew was palpable. The energy signatures detected on the planet's surface were intense, suggesting that the ancient technology described in the inscriptions was still active. "We're nearing the energy field," Carter reported from the command center. "The readings are fluctuating, but it looks like the source is concentrated in a specific area on the planet." Johnson nodded. "All right, team, prepare for planetary descent. Let's find out what's causing these anomalies and make sure we don't trigger any unforeseen consequences." The Stellar Voyager descended toward the planet's surface, landing near the source of the energy readings. The landscape was a dramatic contrast to the previous planet they had explored. Vast, crystalline structures that glowed with an otherworldly light dominated the terrain. "This is breathtaking," Mora said, awestruck by the beauty of the crystalline formations. "It's like nothing I've ever seen." Harper, examining the data, added, "These structures could be part of the ancient technology described in the inscriptions. We need to be very careful as we approach them." The crew disembarked and made their way to the heart of the crystalline field. As they approached, they found a central structure that looked like a massive energy conduit, its surface pulsating with rhythmic energy. "This must be the core of the ancient technology," Carter said, studying the conduit. "It's incredible how well preserved it is." Johnson turned to Mora and Harper. "We need to ensure that this technology doesn't pose any danger to us or to the Stellar Voyager. Let's get some readings and figure out how it operates." As the team set up their equipment, Mora felt a sense of profound connection to the ancient civilization. The dream she had experienced seemed to converge with the reality before her. She could almost sense the echoes of those who had built this technology, their hopes and fears woven into the energy that surrounded them. Suddenly, a series of holographic projections activated around the conduit, displaying a sequence of images and symbols. The projections depicted scenes of the ancient civilization's rise, their technological advancements, and their eventual downfall due to the uncontrolled use of the energy. "This is amazing," Harper said, mesmerized by the projections. "It's like a visual history of their entire civilization." Mora studied the images intently. It seems they created this technology to harness cosmic energy, but they underestimated its power. The warnings we've seen were a desperate attempt to prevent others from making the same mistakes. As the projections continued, they showed a final, hopeful message, a plea for future explorers to learn from their experience and use the knowledge responsibly. The message emphasized the potential for great progress if the technology was handled with care and respect for its power. "This message is clear," Mora said, her voice filled with determination. "We've been entrusted with this knowledge. It's up to us to ensure that it is used wisely." With the final message resonating in their minds, the crew carefully deactivated the conduit and prepared to return to the Stellar Voyager. They knew that the ancient technology held immense potential, but also great risk. They would need to approach it with the utmost caution and responsibility. As they lifted off from the planet, Mora reflected on their journey. The mysteries they had uncovered, the challenges they had faced, and the connections they had made had transformed her understanding of the universe. She felt a deep sense of accomplishment and a renewed commitment to exploration and discovery. Captain Johnson approached Mora as they sailed through the stars. "You've done remarkable work, Princess. Your courage and curiosity have been instrumental in this mission." Mora smiled, grateful for the recognition. "Thank you, Captain. This journey has been more than just a grand tour. It's been a profound learning experience. I feel like I've gained a new perspective on our place in the universe." As the stellar Voyager continued its voyage, Mora and the crew looked forward to new adventures and discoveries. The universe was vast and full of secrets, and they were ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. The final message from the ancient civilization echoed in Mora's mind, a reminder of the delicate balance between progress and responsibility. With that in mind, the stellar Voyager sailed into the unknown, carrying with it the hopes of future exploration and the promise of a brighter, more enlightened future. And so, with stars as their guide and the lessons of the past as their compass, the crew of the stellar Voyager embarked on the next chapter of their grand adventure, ready to face the infinite possibilities that awaited them in the boundless expanse of space.